Well, Predator Badlands opened this weekend, and around these parts, we loved it. I had such a blast with that movie, man. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be top 5 best pictures of the year. I'm not saying it deserves to be nominated for Best Picture of the Academy Awards. But holy hell, it was a lot of fun, and I had a great time. Is the word verklempt? Is that it? Anyway, we were all upset over the fact that it was tracking for like a $25 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
And I get it, like the history of the Predator franchise, whatever, despite the fact that it's had a bit of a resurgence with Prey, Predator Killers, the Alien franchise, all that kind of stuff. But 25 million. And Rob, I remember on our show, like you said, that you have hope that positive reviews and hopefully positive word of mouth will get that upwards. And I said, I cannot see it opening that low. I could not see it opening as low as 25 million. Well, it did quite a bit better, as it is being reported that Predator Badlands set a record for the franchise with the biggest opening weekend in the franchise history at a $40 million opening, significantly higher percentage-wise than the $25 million that it was pegged at, and made $80 million worldwide. Now, keep in mind, this movie needs to make roughly around $220 million to break even. It's off to a great start. To a great start. $40 million opening weekend, which, again, so far exceeds, and 100%, Rob, 100%. This is absolutely based on the fact that as we go over and take a look at this, the critics loved it. The audiences loved it.
Look at that audience.
Critics gave it 85%. More importantly, in this case, a franchise record highest audience rating of any film in the Predator franchise, sitting at 95% audience scores. That word of mouth, the positive write-ups, the positive YouTube videos, the positive newspaper articles, the positive reviews, combined with the audiences loving it and having a great time with it, undoubtedly propelled this thing to a much bigger opening weekend than they originally forecasted. And I think it's going to snowball. I'm not saying the second weekend is going to be bigger than this one. Not at all. As a matter of fact, its second weekend is going to run into a bit of a problem with another very well-reviewed movie coming out called The Running Man that's kind of targeting the same kind of feel, same kind of demographic. That could hurt Badlands in the second weekend. But Rob, I think we are looking at, with all this positivity, I think we're looking at less than a 60% drop-off in its second weekend. I think this movie is going to become what I questioned, but I think now it is going to become a profitable movie. And by the way, I don't even think they absolutely need this movie to be profitable. I think they were looking at this as they were building something. It's going to take them a while to build it up to profitability. I think they may even surprise themselves that this one may itself become profitable. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Zapier. You know, one of the biggest game changers of the past year has been AI. But let's be real, just talking about AI doesn't actually make your day any more productive. What does make it more productive is finding tools that put AI to work for you. And that's where Zapier comes in. Zapier is the easiest way to take AI and plug it directly into the apps and processes that you're already using every day. No IT bottlenecks, no complexity, just results. For me, it's been about saving time on repetitive stuff so I can focus on the work that matters and I actually enjoy. And it's not just me. Over 3.4 million companies are already using Zapier to streamline everything from sales and marketing to IT and HR. With their AI orchestration platform, you can connect top AI models like ChatGPT or Claude right into the apps you already use. So whether it's automatically enriching leads, coaching your sales team, or even resolving IT tickets, Zapier makes it simple. Guys, join the 3.4 million companies already automating with Zapier and transform how you work with Zapier and AI. Get started for free by visiting zapier.com/Campea. That's ZAPIER.com/Campea. Anyway, Rob, this thing exceeded expectations, both for us in theater and at the box office. What do you think are some of the key main reasons why this thing did better than a lot of people thought it would?
Because it's a great, fun movie. It delivers. I've been talking about this movie for the last week and arguing with people over it. And it's just the vitriol toward this movie. But most people love it because it's fun. You and I both said this when I walked out of when I did my out of the theater review. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this film because it's just full of a bunch of things that I like, that I've liked my whole life, and there's nothing about this movie that I didn't find enjoyable. Like I said, by the time the title card comes on, I was like, bravo. It was the nearest thing I can equate it to, John, is Godzilla -1. Because I've been watching Godzilla movies my whole life. And for the most part, Godzilla movies, they're all over the place in terms of quality. But Godzilla -1, I sat down and I was like, this is kind of like the Godzilla movie I've wanted to see my whole life. Because it's everything about it was just A-list. And with this Predator film, it took the idea. I knew that it was a science fiction action adventure movie by design that was going to feel like it was made in the 80s. And that's exactly what I got. I was reminded of movies like The Last Starfighter. It was just fun. You get all this great stuff, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm thinking, I read Predator comics from Dark Horse. A lot of elements of that in there. A lot of classical storytelling about the young warrior that has to go prove himself to the clan, and picks up an unlikely motley group along the way and then at the end, basically the space Nazis and the Weyland-Yutani synths or whatever. I mean, there was nothing about this movie that did not delight me when I was watching it. And I felt like I was 13. and I was hooting and hollering, and I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. And again, the word of mouth just started to spread about it, and the reactions to it, the positive reviews, all this kind of stuff is just great. And I really hope they're able to build on this moving forward. And here's the other thing. I think this is key. They need to move quickly. I don't mean quickly as in 4 months we have to have the next movie, but we can't wait 3 years for the next movie. They need to take advantage of this kind of momentum. The fact that we've gotten, when you think about it, in a relatively short period of time, we've gotten Alien Romulus, we've gotten Alien Earth, Prey, Predator Killer of Killers, and Predator Badlands in a rather short window in quick succession. And I think that's going to be key to them keeping the momentum up. So we need to see the next entry to this relatively soon, at least before mid-2027, I would say.
Yeah, and you know what I think is really interesting about, and you've seen kind of the shift, that Dan Trachtenberg went from Prey, he gave us Killer of Killers. People forget that the first Predator that everybody holds up as being sacrosanct or something, that's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
It really is.
I mean, it was based on his persona, going from Conan the Barbarian in 82. By the time you get to Predator, it's basically a space slasher movie. It's not about the Predator, and the Predator loses. The Predator dies because it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And what I like about this is people have always talked about, well, I'd love to see a Klingon TV series or a Klingon. The fun thing about this movie is it like with Predator Killer of Killers, it's building, the Yautja is the main character, and you're taking this really interesting alien civilization and you're building it out. It's something I've wanted to see since the end of AVP Requiem, which I always talk about. And that's one of the things I really liked about it, is that you get to see the Predator culture, and I want to see more of this culture. I mean, if you had told me 5 years ago that they were going to make a movie about a Predator where he speaks in subtitles the entire movie, I would have said, well, that's really the only way you could do it, because if he was speaking English with that mouth, it would have been
It'd be really weird, yeah.
But I would have thought that they would never have allowed that, and they did. That movie opening with subtitles was audacious.
Yeah.
Not just one character, but they're all speaking. And then even when they had the moment where Elle Fanning's like, well...
remember, let's not give too much of the movie away.
Yeah, okay, well, there's a reason. There's a moment where I thought, is he going to start speaking English? And they didn't.
You know what I thought they were going to do in the movie? This is before seeing it. What I thought they were going to do in the movie, I thought they were going to pull a Hunt for Red October.
Yeah, that would, yes.
Yeah.
So, because for those who don't know, in Hunt for Red October, Sean Connery plays this Russian sub-captain, and they're all speaking Russian. Then at some point, he starts reading a Bible verse. And as he's saying the Bible verse, the language morphs from Russian into English in a way that we as the audience just understand. Oh, they're still speaking Russian to each other, but we're hearing English, so we don't have to read subtitles.
It's like the 13th Warrior.
Yeah, I kind of thought they were going to do the same thing in Predator Badlands. That we understand they're speaking the Predator, the Yautja language, but we're going to hear English, and they never did.
Nope.
They kept him speaking in his own language and kept subtitling.
I thought
that was pretty cool.
I love that. I thought that was great.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Why do you think Predator Badlands exceeded the box office expectations that were set of around $25 million? Was it, as we suspect, the positive reviews and positive word of mouth from the audience? Do you think it might be something else? Is this a good sign for the franchise moving forward? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.